Earlier this year, climber Alison Hargreaves hit the headlines as the first woman to reach the top of Everest without the aid of breathing apparatus. Now, tragically, whilst climbing K2 in a terrible storm, Alison was killed.
Two Spanish climbers rescued from the Himalayan mountain K2 say their British colleague Alison Hargreaves is dead.
Alison Hargreaves did make it to the top of the mountain K2. These pictures were taken as she started her ascent last month.
Alison's untimely death sparked up a controversial debate. A lot of people, and especially many British newspapers, felt that as a mother of two young children, Alison had been wrong to risk her life by pursuing her love of climbing. Joining us today are two women who are also involved in high-risk sports and who, like Alison, are the mothers of young children. Francesca Shaskova holds the women's high-altitude freefall parachute record, and Julie Curry holds 30 World Cup medals for ski acrobatics. Francesca, coming to you first, on the back of those newspaper cuttings that we saw there, were you surprised at the reaction from the press to her death?
Well, I was surprised at media reaction because here was this woman who'd achieved marvellous things, a very talented woman, and yet here with the press, you know, the tragic circumstances in which she was killed, and yet here with the press seeming to sidestep that and basically start to question her parenthood, whether or not she was a good mother, you know, and this seemed to take over from the actual reason you know, that she had died.
And strangely enough, just a little while before when she climbed Everest, it was all pats on the back.
That's right, yeah.
Do you think that this would have been an issue if it had been a man?
Well, of course not. No. Interestingly enough, I was reading an article a week or two after Alison's death about Johnny Herbert, a Formula One racing car driver.
Yeah.
And it exalted him to heroic status for the fact that he was a family man with young children, for the fact that he had a horrific crash and come very close to death, and here he was praised and put on a pedestal because of this.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's very different from the reaction that Alison got.
Now, I've never parachuted, and I would think, and I'm probably the same as a lot of people watching at home, that it's dangerous. When you had your daughter Anastasia, did you feel like giving it up then?
No, you know, dangers are very... OK, people, of course, perceive it as dangerous, but I think that's largely due to ignorance. It's actually a very disciplined sport. What I consider dangerous is driving on the roads with the maniacs and drunk drivers. Being a woman and going out after... I've been the victim of an assault. Being a woman and being out after dark in certain places. No, it's a very controlled sport, and of course there's a potential there for danger.
Yeah.
If things go wrong, more so than, you know, baking cakes or whatever.
You can burn your hands baking cakes, I've done it many times.
But, you know, it is because of the discipline within the sport and because I have confidence in my equipment, in my own ability, I know my limitations, then no, I don't consider it to be a danger that is not acceptable.
Well, Julie, coming to you, obviously Francesca didn't give up her sport. You did. You gave up ski acrobatics and you were highly successful. Why did you decide to give it up?
Well, with aerial skiing, which was what I was doing, there's an obvious potential danger there in what we're doing. You know, we're coming into the jump at in excess of 50 kilometres an hour, and we're shooting off the jump, going sort of 40 feet up into the air and doing our somersaults and twists, and obviously trying to land on our feet. But there is the risk that you can get lost in the air and make a mistake. So the risk...
It was because you had your son Lloyd, of course, that you decided to give up, didn't you?
Well, yes.
Because you didn't want to put that risk.
For me, the risk then became too great. I mean, to maintain the level I was at World Cup competition, I'd have to be pushing myself to the limit the whole time. The very sport sort of doesn't have a limit in itself. As soon as you've mastered one manoeuvre, like a double back somersault with 2 twists, you've got to go on and learn either add another twist or another somersault. So you're always pushing yourself and you're always right on the limit.
But do you regret making the decision to give up?
I don't regret the decision, although there's many aspects of the lifestyle and the sport that I miss a lot. But
well, finally coming back to you, Francesca, do you think that mothers who pursue dangerous sports or any pastime, do you think that they should give it up because of their children?
Well, no, I don't see, why they should. One of the things I've said, and I'll say it again, is women aren't grow bags. They are, thinking, intelligent human beings who have every right to pursue, other interests other than motherhood.
Yeah.
Now, motherhood is very fulfilling, and it's a part of my life which I wouldn't change. But it's finding the balance between other interests and motherhood. And I think it makes me a better parent, not a worse parent.
Francesca, Gilly, thank you both very much.
Really, thank you so much. Love these. They're such sweeties on television, they really are, and such lovely flowers. With a difference, because these are the backbone of a successful business. Now,